Hello, I'm the HappyCabbie, and this is a video I'm doing for MyRealityBytes. This is the three little pigs, which I have right here, and for some reason they have different sized tails. But anyway, this here is their story. Now, the three little pigs each had their own little houses. This one built his house out of straw. This little piggy built his house out of sticks. This little piggy built his house out of bricks. There was another little piggy that went wee 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 all the way home, but he basically had an incontinence problem. But anyway, they all had their own little houses, and they played music and they had fun. But there was a problem. Number one, there was a big bad wolf, which we see right here. Now the big bad wolf, he had a little bit of a wheezing problem. He would go. So anyway, he also had a thing. He liked to eat pork chops. He liked to eat, pork ribs. He loved, the pork rinds, pickled pig's feet. Basically anything to do with pork, he had a thing for it. So obviously it wasn't a kosher diet. But anyway, one day he stumbled upon, the pig community. And he noticed that, this one pig, he was kind of round, sort of like me. He's like, that guy looks kind of tasty. And this, of course, was the pig that built his house out of straw. So anyway, he went and knocked on the door. And he said, little pig, let me in. Which would be kind of interesting, since how wolves generally don't talk. But this is a fairy tale, so we'll play along. And for some reason, he's also walking on his hind legs instead of all four, whereas the pig is walking on four legs. But, who knows? Anyway, the little pig responded, and he said, not by the hair of my little chin, which is kind of odd, because if you look, number one, there's no chin, and there's no hair. I mean, I have hair, I have chins, but, there's none on the pig, but, there you go. But anyway, the big bad wolf, he said, I'm going to huff, I'm going to puff, and I'm going to blow your house down. Which does present itself in another little bit of problem. We're talking about a house made out of straw. It's obviously not that hard to break into a straw house. It's basically, straw. You just, kind of pull it apart and you can go in and, bada boom, bada bing, you got yourself a ham sandwich. But nevertheless, he liked to huff and he puffed, so he blew the house down, and he went like this. So like blowing out candles on a birthday cake. So anyway, no more house, no more pig, and the wolf went. And there you go. Bye-bye, pig number one. Hello, pork rind. Okay. So the next day, the big bad wolf was in the mood again. It's like, you know what? I could really go for a BLT sandwich. I've got the lettuce, I've got the tomatoes, but darn it, I just don't have the bacon. So anyway, he came by pig number two, which for some reason, a bullshit detector. For some reason, pig number two had a slightly longer tail. But anyway, this little pig built his house out of sticks. So he went up there and he figured, well, it worked the first time. So he said, little pig, let me in. And of course the pig, which as you can see, no chin, no hair, but again said, hey, not by the hair of my chinny chin. He didn't say chin, he has a chinny chin, you see. So anyway, the big bad wolf said, I'm going to huff and I'm going to puff, and you know the rest. There you go, BLT sandwich. So, pig number three, who of course was the wisest of the bunch, building his house out of bricks, looking out the window, and he's number one, he could have invited his fellow pigs over to the house, but he figures, you know what, you just, it's no longer a community type thing, it's more like every man for himself. It's sort of like if you hear the people fighting next door, when you hear guns being shot, you just kind of turn the radio up. This is the neighborhood that we live in these days. So anyway, he says, I'm going to go ahead and boil some water in the chimney. Now, not in the chimney, but in the fireplace, for no special reason. Anyway, he looks around and he sees this house of bricks, and he says, you know what, I've been able to do straw pretty good. I've been able to blow over sticks, so bricks should be no problem. Not a very wise fellow, is he? No. Of course, never did think of maybe learning how to pick a lock or stuff like that. But no, he figures his lung power. He figures, well, maybe he can blow harder than a hooker in a truck stop parking lot. I don't know. But anyway, he goes up and he says, little pig, let me in. Of course, knowing full well that the pig without a chin, without a beard or anything like that is going to say, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. So he huffs and he puffs and he goes, okay, it ain't working. Big Bad Wolf is kind of confused. He says, it isn't working. But then he looks up, and there's a chimney, and there's smoke. Now, for any other person, you would realize that you got chimney, you got smoke, there's a fire. But no, this guy, he figures he'll just go ahead and climb down the chimney. It's getting close to Christmas time. Santa Claus can do it, you know. Hey, why not? So anyway, he climbs up, you know, and the little pig, you know, is like, hey, it's a good thing I made that pot of boiling water in the fireplace. So anyway, the wolf comes down over there. The next thing you know, it's you know, you got yourself some poached wolf, and then of course the pig takes a look at that and it's like, well, you know, you did eat, you know, some friends of mine. So he figures he's just going to invite over the rest of the pig neighborhood, and let's have ourselves some roast wolf, shall we? Okay. So that, of course, is the story of the three little pigs. And just remember, build your house out of bricks. Don't build it out of straw, you know. And whenever possible, you know, make sure you use good quality craftsmanship, you know, union labor and all that good stuff. Okay. Now, thank you to MyRealityBytes for choosing the topic of this video. You definitely won the auction. And I'm going to be posting another auction. I'm going to be doing a balloon Grinch next month. So I'm going to be putting up a link over there to the eBay channel where people can bid and get their little promo spot talked about for the Grinch video. And here is a picture of what the Grinch is going to look like. So have fun with that. Thank you for watching the video and stay tuned for the next one.